I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Yeah, it's 5:30 a.m. 5:30 a.m. 10 October the 5th, October the 16th, 2025. So let me go ahead and tell you what's going on Hammer Time Funk, what's going on with you. I'm going to tell you why I am jealous. She said, it's 6:30 a.m. here. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why I am very jealous of Serena Williams' husband. He got something that I want. Okay. Something that I crave. Because it's the tool he got. It's something that he got can make the difference in separating the sheep from the goats. He has the power to make things right. You see, some of y'all might sit there and say, well, Big J, is it because he's married to Serena? No, no. Him being married to Serena is not the reason why I'm jealous of him. Is it because of the multi-million-dollar businesses that he owns? It's a byproduct of him owning those multi-million-dollar companies. And I'm going to show you, because I got to put this disclaimer up for fair use. I'm going to show you what I am referring to. And I forgot to sit here and cue it up in time, but be patient on that. I've got to cue up in time, but you know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Also, too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
well, you know what? Listen. I did it. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I was hoping you were going to be here. I'm not. Oh no, I am not qualified. Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, Stephen. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So I generally try to stay in my lane of advice.
Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I'm doing 13 years strong. We got you. Alexis, thank you so much.
Let's play that again. Let's play that again, y'all. Let's play that one more time.
NYC 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Appreciate you.
This is the reason why Alexis, he got something that I want. Why I'm jealous of this man. Why I find myself jealous of this man. It's not because of who he married to. See, he got something that black men don't have. He got something that I, as a man, won't. But we're going to play this again because he didn't say the word, but he did exercise the word. It's not what he said, is what he used while he was talking to the man that was insulting his wife.
Also, too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
so for anybody who don't know what had happened earlier this year, we had the Super Bowl, right, in New Orleans. And at the Super Bowl, Serena Williams, this white man's wife, and everybody knows Serena Williams is black. She got on stage when Kendrick Lamar and Samuel Jackson was at the Super Bowl, and she got there and she started the crip walk, implying it was about Drake. Not understanding the message, what was going on. So the next day, Stephen A. got on another platform. And, I would bring the footage of that, but it should be in the description box, by the way. Just check the links below in the description box if I'm not showing it this morning. So Stephen A. started to buck dance and shoe shine. And this is why Stephen A. is not at the studio with Alexis, talking it to him in person. Because Stephen A. knows what would happen if he was in that same studio with this man. But hold on. I'm going a little bit ahead of myself. So Stephen A. got on a syndicated talk show and tried to trash Serena Williams. I'm about to go here with this. See, Stephen A. Smith messed up twice in 1 week. Listen what this white man is about to do to Stephen A. Smith.
Well, you know what? Listen. I did it. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I was hoping you were going to be here. I'm not. Oh no, I am not qualified.
See, right there, right there is what I'm talking about. Now, Stephen A. is sitting there stuttering. He have a tongue. His tongue is tied. He's over there having he's trying to, He's trying to tap dance around it. When the woman husband, that the husband of the woman he insulted, approach him, Stephen A started to oh. But this is the move. This is why I'm jealous of Serena Williams' husband. I'm jealous of him. Because it's something what he did within this commentary, within this thing he just said, made me want to sit there and say, man, why am I jealous? I envy this man.
Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am.
Boom. Let's talk about that part. Are you married, Stephen A. Smith? See, Stephen A. Smith is a baby daddy. So Stephen A. Smith don't understand about having a wife. And yeah, Stephen A. Smith does have children because his daughter does commentary on his podcast, right? But he's not married to his daughter's mother, nor he's married to the other woman. I'm trying to remember her name. He got baby by her last year or 2 years ago. Well, I say within the last five years at least, right? Give or take. But he never been married. So there is no quote unquote loyalty to the woman you sired, with the child you sired. That's another thing he got over Stephen A. Smith, but that's not what I'm jealous of. What I'm jealous about.
Married?
No, Stephen. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
Boom. Let's talk about that. I give advice to million-dollar companies. That is an applied threat. He gave an applied threat to Stephen A. He gave an applied threat, and I guess that went over everybody's head on this. I think this went over everybody's head. He made an applied threat. When a white person I'm gonna tell you something. Right? Let me tell y'all something. Black people don't know how to read the room when a threat has been made. Now we always hear Negroes coming on, saying I got this, I got that, I got a Rolls Royce, I drive me a Benz, I got me a Maybach rather. I got this, I got that. I do. Look at the flat screen TV I got in my house. Look at my crib. There's a difference between being wealthy and being rich. Black people know how to be rich. Black people do not know how to be wealthy. They don't. We don't know how to be. Don't know. We know what being rich is. There's a lot of black millionaires in this country, but there's not enough black people being wealthy. Now, He just said, I am a billionaire and I train other billionaires' companies. Now, he said this to Stephen A. Billionaires talk all the time. Billionaires do what? Hire millionaires. Millionaires work under billionaires. Thousandaires work under millionaires. Do y'all see what I'm about to say? You see where I'm going at? He just told Stephen A, without actually directly telling Stephen A, nigga, I will break you. I will break you. You come for my wife, I will break you. That's what I'm jealous about. That's what I'm jealous. He has the means to break your ass. It isn't the money. It's the power that comes with the money. Money itself is not the issue. See, you see what I'm talking about? Being rich and being wealthy are two different things. Wealth brings also power. It's the power and the money at the same time. You being rich don't mean nothing. Stephen A is rich. He ain't wealthy. Why? Because he had to work for somebody. He had to work for a billionaire. He's a millionaire working for a billionaire. He can be broken. He may not own ESPN, which is owned by ABC, which is owned by Disney. But I bet you he can put a few $1,000s on his stocks, buying Disney stock. He can go ahead and visit the boardroom. If they need a consultant, he'll volunteer for that. And whenever next time it's time to start cutting, ending, and beginning contracts, he'll be there in the room. That's what I'm saying, why I'm jealous of Serena Williams' husband. I said, I almost about to say wife, y'all. Her husband. Because he got the mean to break a nigga off in his ass. And he's doing it with a smile on his face. And that's part of the reason why Stephen A was not in that same room, even though that's Stephen A. Smith's show. That's Stephen A. Smith's show, and you didn't show up? This is your own show, and you didn't show up on your own show? Because a homeboy pulled up on your own show and asked, hey man, what you want to say something about my wife? You want to say something about my marriage? See how that work? You see, Stephen A thought he was slick, right? So Stephen A hurry up and he walked away. But I want y'all to watch this though, right? I want y'all to watch what he was about to do, you know, over here. I want you to watch what he's about to do. And I don't like how I don't know how YouTube changed their interface, but anyway, here we go.
Serena Williams, you know, she is married to billionaire Alexis Ohanian. And
I want y'all to notice something. Notice how quiet. Notice how quiet Stephen A. Smith is. Notice how humble he is when he was addressing Alexis Ohanian. But he was loud with his wife. When he was talking about Serena Williams, he was loud, and he said it with his full chest. When it come time to talk to her husband, rather. I don't know why I'm saying is. I guess because I know and anyway, because of the husband, and because it's a white man who's the husband, Alexis Ohanian, right? Ohanian. He decided to be all meek and sounding like a mouse in somebody's church.
And he came on First Take today to promote some new event that he's got going on with Atheos and all of that. And you know, people are talking about how he came at me, you know,
Negro.
Sly dig.
That was no sly dig. You see how he's not reading the room? I want y'all to know that he's not reading the room. That is not a sly dig. That's a threat. That's a promise he made to you that you stepped out of line and you're about to get in line, because money talks and bullshit walks.
You know, because of what I said, and you know, when Serena Williams was on stage performing at the Super Bowl. I've never met this man. I wish I was in studio today, but I'm not.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. You knew what was about to happen if you was in that studio with that man. That man would have said something to you off. Let me say something. Even though he might say something nice to you in front of the camera, but as soon as those cameras turn off, he would have cornered you somewhere in person and give you the act right. Don't mess with a man's wife. Don't insult a man's wife. Tell you that right now.
It would have been nice to meet him. I don't know the man.
Why are you talking to that man's wife like that? See, you might want to shut your mouth. That's what you might want to do, Stephen A.
Against whatsoever. I don't recall saying a negative word about him.
No. You did say something negative about him. A man's wife and a man's family is attached to him. If you are a head of the household, and I don't want to go all patriarchal, it is that man's duty to protect his wife and protect the offspring he shared with her, or whoever is inside that household. By you insulting her, you insulting him. But you don't value relationships, Stephen A. You don't even value that. But let's keep it moving.
It's just that when Super Bowl Sunday took place, when Kendrick Lamar was performing, Serena Williams came on stage, you know, dancing to all of that. And according to the reports and stuff like that, she's the ex of Drake. Essentially, what I said was, why that energy for an ex?
Let's talk about energy. Where is the energy the day after the Super Bowl? Where's the energy you did? See, you quiet now Where was the energy about your girl? When you were going after Serena, where's the energy for her husband then? But you're over here being quiet. You're meek. You're weak. And you know what? We can scroll down. Yes, this is your own channel, by the way. And guess what? I did tag you, by the way. I did tag you, by the way. So anyway, let's go down into the description box. Even your own supporters is cooking at you. Hey, Matt Castle said, where was this energy when bro was on the show? Right? Stephen A was being a professional, quote unquote. Where was this energy for where's this energy for Shannon Sharp? Oof. Wait a minute. Let's go to another comment, y'all. Let's go to another comment. Boy, he folded like a lawn chair. He sure did. He folded like one of the plastic Dollar General lawn chairs. He sure did. He folded like one. Somebody finally said it. He didn't take no slide dig at you. He called you out, and you folded like an empty wallet. Keyword, empty wallet. I'm gonna say it again, empty wallet, which means his billionaire can get rid of your millionaire ass. He'll turn your million dollar ass into a six-figure man. He will guarantee you'll never get past $1 million ever again. You be broke. Probably broker than, let me see, what's that rapper's name? Who was on the Bread Breakfast Club with Charlamagne and them? I forgot his name. His name is not even important. You be broke as him. Why even address it if you're going to be dishonest about it? Somebody said you dodged that fade and that smoke. He sure did. 0 for 2. You got to keep the same energy when confronted. He got that by Bron, PTSD. Mind your tone, boy. Yes, boss. What a joke. You folded, but that's okay. It's great entertainment. He's right, though. You ain't married, and you got no right to speak because they're married. It wasn't a slide dig. It was a direct response to what you said, and you couldn't respond. Let me go down a little bit further. Dude came to your job. Homeboy came to your job. Stephen A. Homeboy came to your job to confront you. He came to your job. That's what I'm saying. He walked into your space where you worked at because he was there for you. That man got on an airplane, got in a limousine, and came to see you, but you wasn't there, Stephen A. Let's go down further. Further. Check you into submission. Right? And yes, thank you. Serena was supporting a fellow Compton guy. Thank you. That's why she was there for Kendrick Lamar. It wasn't about no Drake. Get out of here. Hey, Mr. Smith, if you're gonna talk your shit and reckless like you do, best believe folks will check you on it. That man just called your comment respectfully. Just keep that same energy, right? And you're and yes, and all the energy you had was for black athletes. Yeah, you're right about that. And finally, somebody else got it too. Stephen A. You know you can't. Stephen A. know he can't have that beef with dude. He's a real billionaire and probably eat with Stephen A.'s bosses. Facts. Which dude knows Stephen A. can't say nothing to him. That's why I'm jealous. I'm jealous. That's a primary reason I'm jealous. Oh, and shout out to Steven Jackson for going in on Stephen A. Smith, by the way. Right? Shout out to him for that. He sure had a conflicting engagement on the day Serena's husband was going to be in the studio. Sure did. Stephen A. gone way downhill. Well, yeah. Stephen A., this is your most embarrassing moment. I wouldn't say that yet, because what I'm about to do, I'm going to show you his other embarrassing statement. You immediately went into Tuckdale run mode like a wounded puppy. Next time, tread lightly. Fredo. Fredo means from the movie Godfather, by the way. That's a reference. First a Bron and now Alexis Ohanian. Yeah, a Bron James fold to you. Actually, you're having 0-4 right now. You're having 0-4 at this moment. Exactly. Pecan Tan said, 1970 said, the dance isn't about her ex. Right. It's about supporting the same person she from the same city she came from. That's all. That was all what that was all about. But anyway, that did not stop Stephen A. Right? That did not stop Stephen A.
You know, that was my wife. I don't want to see that. And so because of that, that's what he was alluding to. You know, I'm glad that it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have 2 wonderful children together. And I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me because that's her husband. And I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all.
Oh, yeah, but yes, you did, because you disrespect his wife and you disrespect her, who is his wife. You should have respected her. And when you disrespected her, you was disrespecting him.
I was just saying, men, knowing us as men, you know, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? You know, that's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television.
No, bro, you get it in. When it comes to black people, you like to get it in. But because this man's white and is a billionaire, he checked you. And now here's you about to say, I'm a professional. But you never was professional with Comey Brown. You wasn't professional. Oh, see. Spoiler alert. You wasn't professional with Kwame Brown. You wasn't professional with a Bron James and a Bron James son. You wasn't professional with what's the name from Oklahoma? That basketball team, Oklahoma. What's his name? I forgot his name. You wasn't even respectful or professional with him because you wild out on ESPN and on Fox News or anywhere or news that old news station with Chris Cuomo. You wild out on black people over there. And even on your radio show, you wild out on black people. Stop the cap, nigga.
I'm a professional.
Bullshit.
Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling.
No. Them cameras. See, you got it wrong. It's already escalated. You not seeing it, Stephen. I'm not seeing it, but we already know he already gave you. He already said something about to come down the pike. He's a white billionaire, and white billionaires don't play. You talk to if you go at that man's family, that man's wife, trust and believe he's going to give you that work. You're not seeing it right now. No. But we can say 3 months from now, 6 months from now, next year, before you start to, in quotation terms, run for president. And let me say it right now. And when you start running for president, understand he's going to fuck your ass up when you start running, when you try to run for president. He already got somebody digging in your backgrounds to bury your ass in 2028 if you decide to run for president. You already signed it. You signed your death note already. You already signed for your downfall. He already got that. He already got people on you now. You thinking because it's peaceful at this moment. Don't think he got somebody on the telephone talking about you, nigga.
I'd have said fine, but he was sitting there saying you guys were married, right? So you giving marital advice. That's how he framed it. I give advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married, so who am I to say something like that? I'm saying paraphrase it.
That is, you dumb. You dumb. He's paraphrasing. He's a billionaire not because he's married. He's implying that he's a billionaire. He's implying that he will fuck your ass up. He's going to bury you. He's going to make you broke by coming near his wife. He was no, watch this. Hold on. Nah. Better yet. I'm going to do this real quick, y'all. I'm going to use a visual aid. Or I should say, I'm going to use this instead. What Serena Williams' husband is trying to tell his ass.
That we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet.
Right. He's about to pay any price and bear any burden to knock your ass up on your heels, off your feet. That's what he's suggesting, Stephen A. You might want to understand that, Stephen A, because your mouth is catching up to you. Never insult another man's wife. Never insult another man's child. Don't talk about another man's marriage. That's the point. He's gonna put his money on your ass. He can spare no expense in burying your old coon ass.
I think that's fair comment on this part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it.
Well, it doesn't how you're going to take it. It's that you're going to take it. Hey, how nobody. It's past the whole point of, well, it's a fair assessment. I'm going to take it. It doesn't matter. You should have thought about it when you said it.
And if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said, maybe in a more respectable manner.
Yeah, and you should have talked about his wife in a respectful manner. But understand, the day of respect is over. He waited for 6 months. He waited for 6, 8, 7, 8 months. He waited this long to give you the chance to apologize. And now you can't apologize at this point. It's too late to apologize, Stephen A. Because it's how many months since the Super Bowl? Over 6 months at least. That's ample time for you to apologize, and you didn't. And now since he showed up to you and talked directly to you, and he went to your job. He went to your job while you wasn't there.
Than my initial reaction after Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him. That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently, he didn't like what I said. I respect it, and I wish him and his wonderful wife, who I think is the GOAT, greatest female tennis player of all time.
Let's stop right there. I want y'all to stop. We're going to stop right there. I want y'all to look at the date, right? I want you to look at the date. That was October the 12th. I want you to put a pin in that. Now today it's October the 16th, right? We're 4 days later, October the 16th. Now this was put out in October the 12th, right? See, but Stephen A. put his foot in his mouth again. Mind you, it's October the 12th when this video came out. So we're going to go over here, right? We can go over here. And Stephen A. did it again. He did it again. Now it's October the 13th, a day later. So Stephen A. is copying plays again. Let's play it.
Stephen A. Smith coming at you. I love to do every single week. Normally I'm coming at you on just Wednesday nights, what have you, talking about politics and stuff like that. But I felt compelled to come on the air a little bit earlier this week after what I've had to endure this weekend. What I had to endure this weekend were an abundance of people talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is a Democrat out of Texas, Texas's 30th congressional district. Her work, and her verbiage and all of that stuff speaks for itself. And she has become, a big time public figure in essence, not just as a representative, but speaking out on a plethora of issues involving the current administration and the White House, et cetera, et cetera. And
now I want you to notice, and yes, it is fair use. Yes, it's fair use. But here we go.
And I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. Take a listen to what I had to say last week, please. You Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect intelligent women, no doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself. I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas?
Now, does anybody see what I'm about to say here? Notice he raising his voice. Notice he's animated. We talk to black people. He's out there doing all this extra. He's been extra with black people. When it's time for him to talk to white people, he's meek. He's quiet. He's demure, right? Very demure about it. When it comes to Negroes, it's obvious. Yeah, man, I'm giving you the right, and we know what this is about. You wag your fingers at black people. You don't produce the same energy when you're around other groups of people, except for your own. You see? But let's watch the excuse making he's about to do.
Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency.
I would say that's a crock of shit, because here's the thing, right? Using ICE to go up in people's houses, destroying the 14th Amendment. See, if this was George W. Bush, or this was Daddy Bush, or this was, hell, even Ronald Reagan, I would work with, I'm going to put myself in the position of Jasmine Crockett. Better yet. Let me put myself in the position of myself if I was a congressman and there was a Republican president, right? I would work with that person to get what I need to be done for my constituents at home. But this is not ordinary times. We're dealing with a fascist. Better yet, let me not use the term fascist. Let me not use that term fascist, because that's somebody who is an autocrat, right? Donald Trump is an autocrat. And because he's an autocrat, his followers, people who follow Donald Trump, are fascists. So they're using Donald Trump's autocratic ways to push their own agenda, like Project 2025, right? Which is 48% since last week. The last time I checked it, which was last week, was 48% complete. By the way, it's 48% complete. So I wouldn't, if you ask me, I wouldn't be working with Donald Trump either. I wouldn't be working with the current administration. I'll try to do any and everything lawfully to bring it down. But the Democrats, in my opinion, have no backbone. They're not intelligent. See, Democrats are stupid. I'm gonna tell you right. The Democratic Party is led by stupid idiots. and buffoons and clowns and people and demagogues. No, you want to fight Donald Trump? You better fight Donald Trump how Donald Trump fights. Now, having said that, I am no fan of Jasmine Crockett. Because I do got my problems with Jasmine Crockett. But if you take me and you put a weapon to my head, a gun to my head, and say, who would you rather have, Stephen A. Smith or Jasmine Crockett? 11 times out of 10, I'm gonna say it again. Fuck 11. 20 times out of 10, I'll pick Jasmine. 20 times out of 10, I'll pick Jasmine over Stephen A. Smith any day of the week. And I got problems, major problems with Jasmine Crockett, though. But let's keep it moving, though.
Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating. It really can be. And all of it and all the nonsense that I've heard over the last few days is why it can get exhausting. Because nothing frustrates me more than when people have the truth at their disposal and they choose, maybe not lie, maybe not even embellish, but allow their emotions to usurp facts, and all of a sudden want to use that as an excuse to label me as being something and doing.
Wait, hold on. What's the lie? What's the lie? You never identify what is the lie. The only thing you did was an opinion. You ain't tell no truth. You just state your opinion. An opinion and a truth is two different things. So what was the lie?
Doing something I'm neither not nor have I done, which in this case is disrespecting Representative Crockett out of Texas, who, by the way, has had an invite to this show for weeks, by the way. Governors Josh Shapiro.
Whoa. Stop. You invited a woman who you berate to your show. But you ran from Serena Williams' husband, who came to your ESPN show. So you put this idea that, oh, I invited Jasmine Crockett to my show and she denied talking to me. That's what you have put out. That's what you have put out. But then when your boy showed up, when homeboy showed up, who's a billionaire, and who is white, who's married to a black woman, who you attacked, by the way, you got folded by this white man. And he folded you from a distance. But you got the nerve to say you invited Jasmine Crockett to your show, and you're lamenting that she did not appear. I want y'all to understand what else is going on. Jasmine Crockett is not married, by the way. Jasmine Crockett is not married. Serena Williams is. I want y'all to understand what's going on. I want y'all to pick that up on too. I bet you if Jasmine was married, he wouldn't be doing all this. If Jasmine Crockett had a man, was married and all of that, he wouldn't be doing all this foolishness, because her husband might have the chance to appear. I'm just letting y'all know what the hell's going on. Because if Jasmine Crockett had a husband and she was married, or she was in a romantic relationship with somebody, he wouldn't be saying all that foolishness. Anybody else would.
Spencer Cox came on this show. Senator Lindsey Graham came on this show. Joe Manchin, now retired, came on this show. Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher came on this show.
Yeah, and Bill O'Reilly, you tap dance and shoe shine for Bill O'Reilly. But I got that live stream. Go to my other live stream by Bill O'Reilly and Stephen A. Smith. Right? Because you quiet and meek. When Bill O'Reilly was attacking black people, you put up a weak defense. Lindsey Graham, who's a warmonger, you, Stephen A., did not yell, scream, and shout at Senator Lindsey Graham. Stop the cap. Let's keep it moving.
Oh, okay.
Let's stop the cap. Okay.
More coming. And she has an invite. And AOC has an invite. Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic House leader, he just was on this show. I've invited Jasmine Crockett. I have nothing but respect for her.
If you did, why was you raising your voice at her? But when it comes to men, you don't raise your voice. Where's the energy on that, Stephen A? Oh, and by the way, let me say this right here. You go ahead and go ahead on my Cash App and donate. Yes, go ahead and Cash App. Oh yeah, and here's the QR code. Here is the QR code to my Cash App, by the way. Yeah. Here's the QR code. But anyway, let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep it moving.
Disagree on what she's making headlines for, because I think it's counterproductive to the ultimate goal. But yet, here we are. And the word disrespect comes in. And people try to engage with words, like disrespect and implying misogyny and all of this other nonsense. Stop it.
No, stop. You stop. And you over here about to yell and scream. Here you about to yell and scream. No, you stop.
Can we be grown-ups and deal with what the real issue is involving what I said? Willie D, Roland Martin.
Okay, here's what Willie D said, and shout out to Willie D. His commentary is in the link. The link of that is in the description box of this live stream. By the way, go check it out. It's in the links. It's in the description box of this channel. So here's what Willie D said, right? Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America instead of using it to uplift. He's tearing down a black woman who's out there putting in real work. Now, I'm going to disagree with that, but But anyway, let's carry on. That ain't critique, that's betrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman that walks in a room full of snakes and make snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Steven's showing us what happens when the paychecks get louder than principle. That's sucker shit straight up. That's what Willie D said on his video. It's in the description box of this live stream. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Bakari Sellers and Angela Rye, who I have profound respect for. I mean, the list goes on and on with all of these people. I don't have their names in front of me to my producer that texted to me. I don't have my phone on me right now. So I apologize for not having those names in front of me. But I'm what are we talking about? How's it?
Right there, your tone of voice, your demeanor towards black people, that energy you perform on black people in the company of white folks, of white conservative folks at that. And when white folks call you out, you be quiet, you ain't saying much. That's the point.
Disrespectful to say what I said. Could you just disagree? Could we just say, yo, Stephen A., I disagree with you. Here's why. We got Willie D. Put up that quote, please. He's putting out quotes or text or tweets about me. Let's see that again. Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America, and instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a black woman who's in real work. That ain't critique, that's betrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into rooms full of snakes and makes the snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Stephen's showing what happens when a paycheck gets louder than the principal. That's sucker shit, straight up, end quote. Wow, Willie D. You sure are uplifting. I mean, I got to be touched. That was inspirational. Really, that really, really was. That was inspirational. I'm doing sucker shit. That's what you call inspirational? That's what you call uplifting? Really?
And like, I gotta say, aren't you being not inspirational yourself? Come on. You not being inspirational.
Had to say and all the
hold on.
But respect, first of all,
where was the energy? See, all these black men are dragging you. Steven Jackson, D.L. Hughley, Roland Martin, Willie D calling you out. Everybody's calling your ass out who are black men, and here's you lifting up your voice. But when the white man, Serena Williams, called you out, you're meek, you're mumbling as you talk. Now all of a sudden, since it's a black face, you want to raise your voice.
Well, I'm going to be very, very careful about anything that I say about Roland Martin because he's a friend. I'm going to be careful about anything that I say about D.L. Hughley because I have respect for that man. We've spoken a few months ago. I got nothing but love for him. I am concerned about him not making people laugh and smile as much anymore as he used to because he's more of an activist now than
who cares? Who cares? And D.L. Hughley has not been funny since 2000. What are you talking about? He hasn't been funny 20, 25 years. Who cares?
Comedian, but that's a choice and that's his right. And nothing but love for him and respect. And anybody else too. My issue with Bakari Sellers is how he talked about me without ever speaking out or reaching out.
Stop. But you didn't reach out to Serena when you talked about her marriage. You did not reach out to Alexis, her husband, and talk to him when you got up on air talking about their marriage and talking about her, attacking his wife, Serena. Stop the cap. And then here you talk about, but Cardi Sellers, and Cardi says he's the guy from South Carolina, by the way. But Cardi Sellers should have reached out to me before he went ahead and went in on me. Shut up!
Because you don't like a position that I took before or whatever, but you want to come on and sell your book after. See, I don't play that nonsense. I don't like that. Disagree with what I said. Say why without all the other nonsense. Got nothing but respect. Willie D got over 1 million subscribers. Man, props to you. Doing your thing. Wishing you nothing but the best. Not getting into all that nonsense. But let's deal with what I was saying, please. Can we do that? Can we be real? So let's take it. Let's take it back. Let's look at the resume of Jasmine Crockett. 30th Congressional District. By the way, the two senators that represent Texas is Senator John Cornyn and Ted Cruz, both Republicans. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised. Okay. So you got them in Texas and they're doing their thing, right? What are we talking about here in terms of Jasmine Crockett's district? 750,000 North Texans. Texas's 30th Congressional District, vibrant community in the heart of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. That's the area she represents as a congressional representative. Earned her BA in Business Administration from Rhodes College and a JD from the University of Houston. She's licensed to practice law in Texas, Arkansas, and the federal courts. So this is an accomplished, well-educated woman. Ain't nothing about her stupid. Ain't nothing about her something to dismiss or disrespect when it comes to her resume. Let's get that out of the way so as to make sure I'm not being disrespectful when we're talking about her, okay?
Yeah, but she was talking to her like she was some hood rat. You talking to her like but she was Shaniqua and Keisha and them in the hood, though. That's how you was talking to her, Stephen A. You raising your voice, you did some condescending tone. Stop the damn cap. It's 6:35 a.m., by the way, Central Time. Let's keep it moving.
Okay. What's her reputation? Crockett's performance in the House, according to research, and her success in delivering wins for her district is quote unquote mixed. She's active, ambitious, and visible, exceptional when it comes to fundraising. But many of her major efforts are still works in progress, bills stuck in committees, introduced but have stalled, etc., according to Congress.gov. I'm just reading. She faced similar difficulties as a state rep. The Texas legislature's sole Black freshman had big plans for her first session. She ended up mostly playing defense, according to them. And
that part, I do agree, right? It's because she's a minority. She's from a minority political party in the state of Texas. I remember her when she was a state rep. I remember her when she was at the state in Austin as a state rep. She couldn't get anything done. If you are a Democrat in the state of Texas, you can all fit into a phone booth. That's how small the Democratic Party is in Texas. You in a phone booth. So anything you have to do is basically just be there breathing. Okay? That's what he don't understand. He don't understand that, doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get voted up. And that's why she moved to the federal side, because she thought, and like what me and you thought, they would have a better chance of furthering their own policies and their own positions. Now, she's not going. Now, she was elected under the Trump era. She was in Congress during the rise of Donald Trump. That's what he don't seem to grasp.
Implication is that while she's great at fundraising, the challenge for her was cultivating relationships in Congress. And what does that mean? Potentially going across the aisle when you don't want to. Potentially going across the aisle, okay, when it might be in the best interest of the 750,000 constituents you represent. We know you're a Democrat. We know how disgusting and vile you find the president to be. You've told us on more than one occasion. What I was saying was, where's that going to get you when you're so willing and so apt to verbalize it the way that you choose to verbalize it? How is that going to be productive to your constituents?
But you running for president too, Stephen A. And this is how stupid Stephen A is, right? This is how stupid he is, right? Stephen A., you are running for the Democratic Party nomination in 2028, right? You're one of the front runners for the Democratic nomination, right? And you're down talking your own constituents, Stephen A. Black women, I'm gonna use this as a prompt. I ain't trying to gender war this. Black women are the backbone, and I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. Black women are seen to be the backbone of the Democratic Party at this point. If you go by what Roland Martin's simp ass is saying, right? So if you over here offending not one, not two, but at least 3 black women in a row, and you over here yelling and screaming, and then and it took a bunch of white men to check you and made you fold it. How you think, though, black people who's going to vote in the primary, especially in South Carolina and Texas, pretty much in the South, that's where the most of your black votes are going to come from, the South. How are you going to win that? How are you going to win those votes in Chicago? How are you going to win those votes in the black enclaves like Chicago or Minneapolis or St. Louis? How are you going to win those votes when you're condescending to black people and you want to raise your voice at black people? See, you might want to answer, you might want to ask yourself that question while you being condescending. But anyway, let me just keep it going because I know, hold on, let me see how much time I got left. You know what? Let me keep on going just a few more minutes of this.
You have every right to feel the way that you feel about him. You have every right to do everything that you can to vote him out of office, or in his case, the people that are under him, the J.D. Vances of the world, a Marco Rubio of the world, a Pam Bondi, a Kash Patel, and others. You have every right. You should be doing everything you can to win the midterm. But what I'm saying is, where is her rhetoric going to get her and the people she represents in the 30th Congressional District in Texas? What am I talking about?
Yeah.
To my producers.
What?
Could y'all play the clip when she's talking about the president as an enemy of the United States? Could you play that, please?
Your reaction to his appointment? He needs to go. I mean, this is very simple. We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within. Here is the problem.
Of course, Congresswoman, to interrupt you, but President Trump, of course, has denied any allegations to the white supremacists, and that's why he
stands.
I'm so tired of these ads, saying the same ad over and over.
Apparently fired what he I know your point, but he did fire Darren Beatty in reaction, they believe, in part to his attendance at that conference. Does that change your opinion in any way?
No, it doesn't change my opinion.
So that's the first clip. There's a president of the United States that you're calling a white supremacist, and you're saying that the people who work under him are that as well.
And
while you're in the government needing assistance from that administration to get things done for your constituency and beyond.
And
okay, that's clip number one. Play clip number two, please. A full-fledged criminal. Play that, please.
Not our democracy. Well, he did say he'd be a dictator on day one. Oh, Democrats, you know, it's just Trump. He just talks. Well, let me tell you something. He is doing more than talking. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about the consolidation of power. We talked about how he wanted to be a king. We talked about in a democratic republic, that is not what it is. We have some sort of checks and balances, and he is doing everything that he can to get rid of those checks and balances. The DOJ and the people that he's going after were simply doing their jobs. The problem is that Americans thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States. And if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
So you care about facts, meaning the Democrats and the Republicans don't. Okay. That's another clip. And by the way, full-fledged criminal and thug. Those were words.
Wait a minute. Wasn't Donald Trump convicted? Wasn't the president convicted of a crime 2 years ago or last year or so? Wasn't he convicted of a crime, Stephen A? So if you was convicted of a crime, wouldn't that make you a criminal, though, Stephen A? Explain that. You got to explain that.
How about this one, where she called the president a piece of shit? Play it.
Because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is.
Donald Trump is a piece of shit. That's what she said. That's the third one.
Wait a minute, Stephen A. And I forgot to bring this up, y'all. I forgot to bring this up because if we're going to sit there and say, you know, that Donald Trump is a piece of you're mad that somebody's calling the president of the United States a piece of shit, right? So by that logic, right? By that logic, all right. And you know, by that logic, shouldn't this right here be called out? Shouldn't this be called out, Stephen A? Huh? Shouldn't this be called out, Stephen A? Shouldn't Steven Crowder be called out? See, you're silent when Steven Crowder is saying this about President Obama. But when Jasmine Crockett talked about Donald Trump, it's wrong. See, Steven Crowder is a white Canadian. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Steven Crowder is a Canadian. He's supposed to be MAGA. Steven Crowder might want to stay out of FWA, yes, fundamental white Americans business. He might want to stay out of the FWA business and FBA business, if y'all want to use that terminology. But anyway, or better yet, let me put up another video. Let me put up another video, right? Let's put up another video because maybe that did not go well. Maybe what I said, maybe what I said did not. What's the term? Yeah, you know what? Let me go here real quick. All right. Now, we can go here, right? We can go to my video, and I forgot to put this up on my thing here. We can go over here, right? We can go over here. See, Stephen A. Let's go over here, right? Stephen A. This is Ted Nugent. Stephen A. Ted Nugent said this.
Got this one to have you. I was in Chicago last week. I said, hey, Obama, you might want to suck on one of these, you punk.
Right. The man is holding up an AR-15, two AR-15 rifles and saying, Obama, you might want to perform fellatio on my rifles. Where are you on that, Stephen A? Oh, let's talk about your friend, Sean Hannity. Let's talk about your friend, Sean Hannity. Let's go over here about your boy, Sean Hannity, right?
White America.
Sean Hannity.
And white America supported Barack Obama. That's why there's the reaction.
Let me ask you this. Are you to be judged by your promotion and association with Hal Turner?
I don't know anybody.
Neo-Nazi.
This is nonsense.
I'll let you talk.
Sir, that was
no. I'm
not.
You don't want me to
that
say
was
this
a man
on the
that
air.
was banned from my radio show 10 years ago.
Do that. Oh, you're screaming because you don't want the truth to come out.
I don't know anybody.
Neo-Nazi.
I don't know anybody. Nonsense. Do that.
Oh, you're screaming because you don't want the truth to come out.
But Sean Hannity is your friend. Stephen A. You used to go on Hannity and Combs, and then later on when Sean Hannity had his own show, you was a regular on Fox News on Sean Hannity's. But Sean Hannity is friends with and protected a known white supremacist by the name of Hal Turner. How can you sit there and call and chastise Jasmine Crockett for calling Donald Trump a piece of shit? Make that make sense. But anyway, we back over here. Make that make sense.
There's another one here where she's talking about how the GOP doesn't care about facts, but the Democrats do. You just heard that. There was also another one where she called them again a white supremacist. But it didn't just stop there. She went to her own governor of the state of Texas, who's in a wheelchair, by the way. Keep that in mind. And listen to what she said about him.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Oh, I can't stand these ads. Same old ads about Xbox. Who cares about Xbox at this point?
Governor Hot Wheels. And the only thing that is hot about him is that he's a hot ass mess. And that's going to serve 750,000 constituency in the 30th district of Texas.
And wait a minute. And we got 380 million people in this country. And Donald Trump insult people right and left. We have 370 plus million people in this country. Donald Trump insult a lot of people in 2016, 2020, 2024. But you were silent about that, Stephen A. What's the point?
That is what I was saying. Never mind what she feels. Never mind whatever level of justification you may have towards feeling the way that you feel. When you're in her position, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's what I was saying. What I was saying was this educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people.
Hey, stop your tone. You mean you might want to lower your tone. That's why people have a problem with you. You got no smoke for Lindsey Graham. You got no smoke for Serena Williams' husband. Serena Williams' husband. You got no smoke for that. You ain't raised your voice to them. Now here you trying to raise your voice. You might want to stop all that.
Is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets.
For the streets. Have you listened to Donald Trump? When the last time you listened to Donald Trump and the verbiage that come out of his mouth? For the last eight plus years. For the past, forget that. For the past 15 years. The things that Donald Trump be saying. On Howard Stern's show. What he said on CNN, Fox. On some of these conservative talk radio shows. But you ain't talking about that. Some of the things he said on the campaign trail. What are you talking about? The street talk. Here's you with your mouth open, trying to wag your finger. Negro, sit your ass down, Stephen A. That's what you need to do.
And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done?
Well,
how many of you are
tell that to Donald Trump.
Able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you.
Tell that to Donald Trump, Stephen A.
You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera.
Now, I agree with that part, but Donald Trump be saying a lot of finagle bullshit, but yet you ain't saying the word.
Why would they do that?
Because Negroes like you will feed into it. Because I know that a lot of us as black men don't like the boss act shit that black women do. It rubs a lot of black men the wrong way, myself included. But you will take it further. And you would put white man's fuckery. You would accept the white man's gang activity over black women's gang activity talk, when she might benefit you more than he benefit you?
Because they know it wins for them. And what I was saying was, I appreciate her passion, her intellect, the fact that her heart and her willingness to be courageous and all of those things are in the right place. But my God, isn't it about winning too? Ain't it about getting it done? How about positioning yourself, since Jasmine Crockett was on the record stating that we got to keep our eyes on the federal courts because the conservative federal courts are putting forth rules and regulations, policies, and fiduciary and judicial things that serve to benefit one side of our country, but not necessarily all sides. Well, wouldn't that mean that you'd want to become a judge? You are a lawyer by trade. You are licensed to practice law in Texas, Arkansas, and the federal courts. Wouldn't you be somebody that we'd want on the courts, or at least on committees, having a strong arm towards dictating who ends up on the courts, not just the Supreme Court, but federal courts?
He does got a point, because not what he's saying, but what the position of courts, because I think that, and I said this the other day. I don't know when I said this. There are two things I think. If Jasmine Crockett is smart, right? No, I'm sorry. I said this talking to a family member. I think it was over the weekend. I said this to a couple of my family members, because we was having a discussion about this and talking about Jasmine Crockett especially. And I told them that if Jasmine Crockett was smart, she would rather run. I would rather have her run for the Attorney General of Texas. I think if she run for the Attorney General of Texas, instead of staying at Congress, her down here in Austin, she do a lot more better down here in Austin because she can't win her seat anymore, right? She can't win that seat. So it's her as with her being as Attorney General of Texas, I think she would have more leeway than anything. She would have more. She would destroy the Republican Party in Texas if she was Attorney General over here, especially Greg Abbott and what's his name, Dan Patrick, the Lieutenant Governor. I think she would destroy these two men in their as a political entity. Anyway, but I also think, though, since you also bring it up, I don't think she's going to stay in Congress for very long. Even if she would have win the next election or the next two elections, because I think the goal for her is not running for president. Her goal is to be on the Supreme Court, and I do see her as a member, as one of the judges. Just let you know where I see her as, because she's not going anywhere near the White House.
Throughout this country, because that's what senators do, right? Wouldn't you want to position yourself to be able to beat a Ted Cruz or a Senator Cornyn? I'm talking about winning. I'm talking about winning. And listen, I voted for Kamala Harris. And I voted for her because I said, even though I wasn't fond of her as a candidate, I certainly thought that she would be more willing to work across the aisle and work with more congressional and Senate representatives than he would. I certainly felt like we wouldn't be hearing words like authoritarianism
he stands.
Here we go with that stupid ad again. So here we are.
And dictators and stuff like that. I knew that. So I get where you're coming from. But when you talk about we're honest, they're not. Were you honest when you chose Hillary and you shoved aside Bernie Sanders as a party? Were you honest when you chose Biden and you shoved aside everybody else because it was his turn? Were you honest when you bypassed a primary and made sure to ensure that Kamala Harris was the Democratic nominee for the president?
You couldn't have a primary, Negro. The convention was already set. You could have had the delegates to vote, but you can't have a primary. See, again, you don't even know how the system works. You have a brokered convention. That's what you're asking, not a primary. You would have a brokered convention, and that would have voted in whoever wanted, whether it was Kamala or anybody, somebody else.
Presidency of the United States, when all of you knew that Biden.
Now shut up and stop yelling. This is the reason why people don't like your black ass. You yelling at the wrong people, nigga. That's why people got a problem with you, Stephen A. That's why people got a problem with you, Stephen A. You wagging your finger at the wrong people. When you up in front of Bill O'Reilly and Chris Cuomo, how come you never wave your finger at Chris Cuomo, who's the brother of the other Cuomo guy who's running for mayor of New York, who used to be the governor of New York? When he did all that scandals, couldn't keep his hands to himself with his female staff members. How come you ain't yelling at the Cuomo brothers for being corrupt at CNN, being corrupt at the governor's mansion in Albany, New York? When you never raise your voice when those people, when Governor Cuomo allowed those old folks to die in the nursing home during the pandemic? Why ain't you raising your voice when Donald Trump as president when Mario Cuomo, is it Mario Cuomo? No, when Andrew Cuomo, rather, when Andrew Cuomo denied the hospital ship to put the COVID patients in there. And those people died in those nursing homes. How come you raise your voice in that one, Stephen A? See, facts matter, not your damn opinion. You over here trying to preach. Sit your ass down. The people of New Jersey and New York needed those hospital ships, and y'all states, your governor up there in New York, Andrew Cuomo, denied it. Why are you trying to wag your finger at Jasmine Crockett? And since though we're talking about the state of Texas, my home state of Texas, right? You wag your finger at Ted Cruz. When Ted Cruz allowed the people of Texas to freeze to death during the ice storm. You so mad about Jasmine Crockett calling when we was freezing, when the governor shut down the electrical grid, when we was freezing. But you mad about Hot Wheels. Get the hell out of here with that. Stephen A. While you point your finger trying to sit there and fucking ass trying to lecture. You in no position to lecture. None. You in no position to lecture to any goddamn body.
Was finished. You knew he had no business staying in the presidency. You knew that.
And you knew you got no business talking about politics. You knew you got no business talking about somebody's marriage. You knew you shouldn't got no business talking about what a woman is doing. You knew you got no business talking at all. And like what your man Steven Jackson said, stick to sports that you don't play. Let me get out of here, y'all. Let me get out of here. I'm done preaching my sermon. I'm done preaching my sermon about Stephen A. Smith with his butt dancing, milk toast, having ass. That's what I'm saying. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.